and yet things feel farther apart than ever before. I mean, what did you get out of your conferences? What does change look like? How do you get there?
Well, first of all, thanks for putting this together.
Pleasure.
Thanks for having me on it. It's definitely an honor. I think that one of the things that we have to continue to do is realize the mental effect, especially on young men. We just had, like you mentioned, we just had a panel for All-Star Weekend. And Isaiah Thomas was there, Alonzo Mourning, Kevin Powell. It was a great panel. And basically what we did was we had 1,500 young black and brown men in the audience. We all gave them Black Lives Matter t-shirts on and really pumped into their minds that their life was important. No matter what they see, with every non-indictment, with every not guilty verdict, everything that society is telling them, that their life actually does matter. And it's something that's important because every day they're being told that it doesn't matter, that it's not important, you know, that their life means nothing. And it's a lot deeper than, you know, it's interesting listening to people like Geraldo and Bill O'Reilly and Sean Handy, and, you know, just the disconnect that they have from reality. They think that if you just listen to the police, everything's gonna be fine. You know, Bill O'Reilly says, well, when I get stopped, I just follow directions. And it's like, you don't have the same experience as when we get stopped. It's not the same thing. You have a totally different thing that happens. And it's interesting because my son is 9 years old, and I had to take off the Disney rose-colored glasses for him and let him know that, you know, like now you're the cute little kid with dreadlocks like your daddy, and you got the big smile, and, you know, people look at you and say, oh, look at the cute little kid. But as you get older and you're tall for your age, so you're going to be big, you know what I mean? Society is going to be afraid of you. There are going to be people who are going to look at you as a criminal and know nothing about you. And, you know, it's heartbreaking having to tell a 9-year-old that, but you have to have the talk with them at an early age. And all black parents, especially with black sons, know this talk. My mother had to have it with me. You know, it's like, you know, when you get stopped by the police, don't make any sudden movements. You know, you have to keep your hand on the steering wheel. You know, tell them, announce, like, I am going into my wallet now to show you my ID. And, you know, you might think that's something simple, but it's a matter of life and death. You know, when you're dealing with young men. I mean, you have to get a receipt every time you go to the store so people can't accuse you of stealing. You know, those are lessons that other people don't really have to deal with. But as you continue to have to do that and ingrain into your mind, young people start thinking that their lives aren't as important. And that's one thing that we have to do. That's why I like having these conferences, to really enforcing them that their lives actually do matter.
What was your 9-year-old son reaction when you told him that?
Oh, he was sad. I mean, you know, he's been following the different things about, he followed about Trayvon Martin, and that was like by accident. I left the TV on, and he walked in, and he saw it. And then he started asking all these different questions. Like, you know, he asked me, why did the police hate us? And so I had to explain to him, like, no, you know, it's not all police. You know, there's good police and there's bad police. It's like there's good white people and there's bad white people. And there's good black people and there's bad black people. You know what I mean? I had to tell him, he was like, yeah, I hear you, but, you know, every time I look at something, you know, I see the police hurting us. I see the police, you know, doing something negative towards us in particular. This is, you know, him asking me these questions. So then he's learning about Mike Brown. He's learning about Eric Gardner. And, you know, when he met Eric Gardner's daughter, Emerald, at the panel yesterday, that was actually Friday. And, you know, he gave her a big hug and said, I'm really sorry for your loss. I know the story. And he's 9 years old, and it's like, you know, he shouldn't have to know that at 9 years old. He just shouldn't. You know, 9 years old, he should be playing, having fun. You know, he likes watching Avatar, The Last Airbender. Anybody with kids know that? It's a really good show. I mean, but that's what he should be thinking about. He shouldn't be worried and get tense every time that he passes a policeman. You know, every time a police car passes us, he stops what he's doing. You know, and it's hard seeing him do that, but it's something that you kind of can't help but be ingrained when everything that you see is always negative.
But when people talk about Black Lives Matter, sometimes I feel, I mean, those in the tent are not the ones you're trying to convince. You know, you're saying to these